The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The living room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked on to the true nation station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do. Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and the same with be chest that Columbus lied, but also to our brother in music, Tony P, where the P this week stands for
productivity, brother. Productivity. Yeah, I want us to start the year with a reaffirmation of what our watchword's supposed to be.
Discipline. Tolerance, productivity,
production,
subsidy, here for the comments, and traffic.
Well, that is counterproductive actually. So there's counterproductivity.
But what if you make an inopportune moment, such as being stuck in traffic, an opportunity for increased productivity?
Well, there's more of a management thing, and I would applaud it. I will not dispute the fact that being stuck in traffic can present opportunities. Okay. If you're one like Brendan James, our brother, who listens to the audiobooks and podcasts a lot, is an opportunity to still gather and glean some information.
Right.
I do not advise that one use the time to take naps or to people watch. Right. So, I mean, I'm trying to balance the scale now. Trying to present, the pros and the cons of the thing.
No, but I could attest to this. One like me, I tend to have most of my telephone meetings while in traffic or in commute.
All right.
And not just to clear this up, I have my car has Bluetooth to it. So it's not that I'm holding the phone and driving.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, but well played, sir.
Thank you. I do that from time to time. But if you don't know the voices you're listening to, I am DJ Aaron868. I remind you every week that culture is my code, alongside my bro with no fro, but a lot of flow.
Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage and the global stage.
And Olia, I not going to lie to Olia, I tired talk.
I mean the tired talk. The show now start.
Brother man, I tired talk since Saturday.
Yeah, I have some footage of that. From when you started with 103 viewers to when only reached 2100 viewers that I caught. Yeah, you had.
I think we talked about like 2300 on YouTube, and we had about 1,000 plus on Facebook as well, on the different Facebook platforms.
All right.
So thank you to each and everybody who tuned in this weekend to the small band semifinals. It was an enjoyable experience, as it always is, because pan is our national instrument and we have to embrace our own. Right?
Not bad, man. You guys did an excellent job.
Oh, thank you very much. For those of you who donated, thank you very much. I think Kenny said we are up to 50-something donations on Sunday. And for those of you who have not viewed it as yet and want to, you could head across to WAC YouTube and check out the videos, and it's uploaded there. What you can also do, donations are still welcome.
Now, was it 3 categories of donation?
Big, bigger, and biggest.
All right, man. Just making sure everybody on the same page now.
Yeah, you know, like when a long time I used to be watching them game shows and they spinning the wheel and they saying, yeah, big money, big money, big money, big money. That's the donations we're looking for. Big money.
And no whammies.
No whammies. You know this show self, man. But one thing I'll admit, guys, this is the season where a lot of us are going to be working a lot. Right? Tiredness is a real thing. I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. After working that 10-hour shift with Kenny on Saturday, right? We finish about 2:30 Sunday morning. I'm cruising down the highway at around 8 because at that time I'm tired.
Right.
So I'm extra vigilant.
Giving yourself as much response time as possible, that type of thing.
No, and I'm cruising at 8 and I am seeing people flying past me and I am moving. But for you to fly past me and my car still shaking when you fly past me, you had to be doing some numbers. The speed limit is 100 kilometers per hour for a reason. Let's obey it, please, and thank you.
I want to change my P this week. I realize how that's out of context. But the P this week, I want to change it to public service, Aaron. I want to change it to
public service announcement.
One, again, acknowledging the passing and the state funeral for the Honorable Basdeo Pandey, who served as our 5th Prime Minister. I know that San Fernando, there was some adjustments to the traffic flow over the past 2 days to facilitate the viewing of his body at Sapa, as well as the cremation down at the creek. I recognize and applaud the contribution he's made to public service over his years, and it disappoints me to have to juxtapose such greatness with the multiple examples of sub-mediocrity that we've been exposed to as a nation over the past couple of days by those who have committed themselves in trade and employment to public service. Case in point, the phone call heard around the country on Friday evening when the gentleman communicated with the police station to inquire as to the police response to his wife's call that there had been a burglary at their place of abode. The response being something that a lot of us would have heard by now, and I have no intentions of parroting. But, so you don't know where the station is? That type of response warrants the disciplinary action pending investigation that is currently going on. And I believe they say that her transfer has been enacted. I would like to take a moment to remind people that while there are poor examples of public service, that young lady's performance is by no means representative of the entirety of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. There are many people who are committed to doing the best that they can for the public when they pick up shift. So at the end of the day, we've seen examples of human service, and then we've seen examples of, yo, man, come on. You could do better than that service. And I want to follow that up quick before I pitch back over to you to get your feedback on those two talking points by adding this one. There's a video circulating of what appeared to be a gentleman who experienced some difficulty while in the Mount Hope, in our waiting room in Mount Hope, when he went to fulfill a prescription. He had been discharged and went back to refill a prescription on his medication and appeared to have collapsed. And from what has been presented in the video, there was a very delayed, lethargic, apathetic even response from the personnel on site. So much so that I believe the man was in that position for something like 45 minutes, according to the video that was submitted. There were even quotes of what could probably be Trinidad and Tobago's next "I wish it wasn't here" watchword, which was "Dynamite Walk." What I'm saying is we can do better, and it behooves me to quote, to use one of Aaron's favorite words. It behooves me that we have to start the year on this foot.
That's my favorite word.
Well, you've used it several times. You've been behooved, or behooven, behoovened. But yeah, Aaron, regarding my cry for better public service and acknowledgement of great public service, you have any thoughts?
Right. So we'll start with the bad first.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that is now my work mentality. That needs to be done away with forthwith. Because it have no way you could tell me. Let's spin this out. Imagine me as a radio station presenter, right? Working on work.
Mm-hmm.
Someone calls the radio station and asks me for information about something which we are advertising on the station.
Mm-hmm.
Now, admittedly, due to human memory capacity, I may not be able to remember all things that have been advertised on the station or that are being advertised on the station at a specific time. But it would be unbecoming of me for someone to call the radio station and say, hey, Aaron, here what's going on now? I hear ad play for Calypso Fiesta. When is that? Well, they had to call the office between 8 and 4, you know.
Right.
That is why there's a breakdown in belief in the national system, in the national service, in community. That is why there's a breakdown. Because that is not my work mentality means that you are always passing the buck. And if you keep passing the buck to the next and the next and the next, when is the responsibility for information to be shared? When is the personal accountability going to stop? Which part in that buck passing? Because if we keep passing the buck, just like how when you send a WhatsApp message, a forward one, right? You just see one tick when it forwarded the first time. Right. And then you see two, and then you start to see forwarded many times. When it starts to get forwarded many times, you're going to forget where it starts to know who to hold accountable.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to know what you're supposed to be doing because you know what? Somebody else can handle it. So with that being said now, to that voice note that circulated on Friday, and honestly, I saw it on TikTok, Ricardo's favorite app, and I just brushed past it. I didn't take it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ricardo sent it to me thereafter. And I take in this voice note. The words which I used at that point in time in my mind, I cannot repeat on the radio.
Not be repeated. Right.
Because to me, you are here, and I'll use the motto of the police service, to protect and serve.
Mm-hmm.
And that serve is not serve tickets on the side of the road. That serve is service to the people. So you from off the bat, your service to the people was compromised.
Right.
Because you know what? That not my work. Or that not my responsibility. Or I having a bad day. So you know what? I ain't in the mood to do this today. But service to the people knows no day, knows no time, knows no hour. Once you are in a life of service, it is demanded of you to continue to give. Now, there's the other side of it that, you can't pour from an empty cup and stuff like that.
All right.
But your management of your giving capacity when you are in a life of service is your responsibility. And if at that moment that officer answered the phone and realized she was not able to serve the people properly, sir, could you hold on? Let me pass you on to another officer.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you have gone viral. Because my uncle from the States sent that voice note for me,
Right.
after you sent it, Ricardo. You have gone viral for something that you could have handled a lot better. In that scenario, I would have accepted you passing the buck to another officer to better handle it if you were not properly equipped. But you have 36 the scene successfully.
Right. properly 36 to do.
So much so that you have now been reallocated to another precinct, if we call police stations precincts in Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You have been sent there, you are under investigation. So you know what? You might really and truly lose your job.
And the thing is at best is unprofessional conduct. At best, it is unprofessional conduct.
You know, I want to add to this list of things that we talking about here, Ricardo. For those of you that traverse through San Fernando on a daily or on a regular basis, you will know that circular road in the vicinity of OWTU and oh gosh, that next street has never Young Street, I think it is, right? Is closed. There's a sign on either end that says road closed, local traffic only. And for local traffic in that region is if you're going to Creative Arts Center. A gentleman took it upon himself to drive through the road closed sign to see the reason why the road was closed. The reason the road was closed is because they were fixing a trench. There was an open trench that was fixed, and they used concrete to cover this trench, to enclose the trench. Let me be specific. But for those of you like myself don't understand how concrete setting works, I'll be like, but why they not back the road? The concrete done dry. But when they set a foundation for a house, don't they let it set for a period of time so that the concrete is cured? Because when they go in and do further construction on it, you want to make sure that whatever load is going to be put on that foundation, it could handle it. So for the gentleman that decided to take it upon himself and drive through, if something had happened to you and you were injured or damaged at that period in time, you wasn't going to blame the city corporation. My thing is, I understand that there's a breakdown in communication between the powers that be and the general populace.
Signage that would have say road closed until.
Right. Yeah, there's a breakdown in that communication. And that has to be addressed. We're not negating that at all. But is it now that our need to constantly fact check on our own could put us in bodily harm or endanger us and our loved ones for the ease of saying, here we're going on? Well, me know why it's closing, so I go in and check for myself.
I believe it was an attempt at watch them again.
To say that they ain't doing their work. Right. So you try to show them up. Yeah. But I saw the ex-councillor from Marabella, Mr. Michael Johnson, post that, yes, the road is closed. And it's closed because they use concrete to fix the trench. But they have to let the concrete cure, which would take about a month or so. Admittedly, that could have been put out before.
I'd say even the current mayor of San Fernando, I believe Mr. Robert Paris.
Yeah, Mr. Paris, yeah.
Mr. Paris, he addressed that video and he pointed out that, well, it was a decision made by the city's engineer. Right, so he acknowledged the possibility that it was for the concrete setting, but he also recognized that this was an engineering decision. This wasn't just so. They didn't catch up and say, let me give it a week and see what happened. Right? So maybe there was a breakdown in terms of miscommunication or signage, but if you drive through the cones or barrels, if you drive past the sign that says road closed, well then there's nothing that would indicate you would have respected any communication that was presented otherwise, because you ignore the visual, you ignore the written, you decide you was gonna do what you want to do. And I don't know if to hang my hat or wipe my feet on the media houses that took that video and, ran with it, which is one of the reasons that it got the attention that it got. But why is it as a nation we have to be embarrassed into response by? Why is it always a case that you gotta get shine up, you gotta get made out, that something has to go viral or become embarrassingly public?
Because you know why? Communication is not my work. just like maintenance of public property is not my work. Because how long Manny Ramjohn closed, Ricardo?
You deliberately trying to upset me now. I feel provoked.
No, but I had to bring that up. The Trinidad and Tobago Premier Football League is in its second season, right? There were clamors and complaints about the dimensions of the Skinner Park field. Right? So which left now the only ground which football could be played in San Fernando and environs is Manny Ramjohn. But then I had to go and sit down in the hot sun because the covered stands closed because of deterioration. Who work it is for maintenance of these facilities?
Yeah, but we have no money here. We have no money, and all the contractors in a neighboring country. Anyway, let me mind my business. So
No. And that is the thing. You start me now.
I didn't expect angry Aaron. But anyway, go ahead, sir. How about
you bring out angry Aaron now?
Well,
but the catch in it is, it's actually burgundy. The catch in it is, maintenance is one of the issues which continues to plague our nation. The only thing we just maintain in Trinidad and Tobago is the ability to macro. That's all we maintain. You know everybody business except your own. So you telling me, and I'm going to pay it out now, you telling me the sport company of Trinidad and Tobago, the company that manages these venues, they charge people for renting them, but not a portion of that money that's going to maintenance?
All I say is that I pull up burgundy versus magenta here, and I have inclinations to magenta being your jersey color.
This is burgundy.
Well, I don't know if you noticed what's going on with my coloring right now in terms of the way that this video being recorded. So maybe it's my video settings.
Probably, but this is burgundy.
You see, I don't even want to go into a conversation as to, the pricing mechanisms and the allocation of income when it comes to these types of things, because you know what season we in, Aaron. You know what season we in. And people have to submit, yes, it's the 5 weeks unsold season. And people have to submit proposals and have to go before the court to get approval for events and so on and so forth. And then there's the mystery bill. The mystery bill that comes up because you know what your rental is, you know what security charging, you know what transportation costs are, you know what stage and performances are, you know what the bill gonna run you, the bar gonna run you, and then you have the whole mystery police and fire bills. Right? So if we start to look at the way that income is allocated, we have to start looking at the way that income is requested, how it is invoiced, how it is priced. So if we're not paying for maintenance when we're renting a venue, what are we paying for? And if we're not paying for maintenance, should the costs be adjusted to reflect such? I just presenting these questions as a man in both entertainment and accounting now. I want to maximize your expertise, your contribution today.
Wow, you want real headache now. You are correct with the fact that police and fire is a mystery bill. It is also the women fancy of if they like you or not. Because I have seen events at similar venues. One receive, and when I say similar venue, at the same venue, let me be specific, where in the same car park, in the same venue, one event might get a police bill for $50,000. The next one might get a police bill for $100,000.
All right. Oh, I noticed earlier when you said women fancy that you spelled discretion wrong, because I don't want anybody saying that that you're casting aspersions now.
I'll put my hand up and accept that.
I believe it was at the discretion of.
It is at the discretion of the judge.
Okay.
Right? When the event promoters or the company that they would have hired to handle the licensing goes to court, they would be given a police strength and a fire strength.
Right. Oh yeah,
No,
I think this discussion on it was our audio thing. It was the internet.
Yeah, I understand the importance of both of these institutions being at your event because the safety is paramount to the success of your event.
Right.
However, we continue to clamor for the regularization of what it should be for an event. If you expect 4,000 people, there should be what it should be.
Standard.
If you there should be a standard, and it could waver based on the size of the venue as well.
Jerome is still the president of the Promoters Association of Trinidad and Tobago, or the Trinidad and Tobago Promoters Association.
Yes, he is.
One of these days.
Yeah, hopefully he'll accept the interview. But that's the thing. I actually went to an event this weekend, Nyla Blackman's concert. And I must say a special shout out to our favorite jingle generators, Ser-vish. They were actually performers in the concert. They closed the show with Nyla.
That is why our segment contributor Dana Tanku of Please and Tanku was up so late on Sunday.
Yeah, they not mash up right now. I see she put Instagram story of this is why I don't go out on Sundays.
Yeah, big up the DT.
Right, but really and truly, guys, 'tis the season where what is called the Merry Monarch?
What's that?
I think it's called Carnival or something, the Merry Monarch. Anyway,
yeah.
just the season of revelry in Trinidad and Tobago. But we don't want you to revel yourselves away from personal responsibility and accountability. Right? If you're driving, don't drink. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you're tired, take a nap. As I always say, there are establishments which you could pay by the hour. Go and pay by the hour and sleep there.
If you go to one of these establishments and they give you a 2024 calendar, you're carrying it home and hanging it up?
No. No, not at all. But honestly and truthfully, guys, I'm just saying, if you're tired, take a nap. I understand the crime situation in our country, and it may not be the safest way to park on the side of the road and take a nap like it could have done in 1998. Right? But what I'm asking you is that if you're tired, spend some money. If you have it, obviously I know time's hard. If you could go to an establishment and take a sleep, or call a friend in the area and say, I'm real tired, I can't make it home. Let me park in the driveway and take a nap, please and thank you.
Or there's a thriving taxi on demand industry in Trinidad and Tobago. There are several different organizations, apps you could install.
No, but I also looking at it as if you're driving. You may not want to park up your car somewhere, take a taxi service or whatever it may be. But that's also a good alternative as well.
Pretty certain it's cheaper. It might be cheaper than what it costs here.
That candle definitely costs less than the funeral.
I just saying. Anyway.
Right. Something else I was gonna say. All in as well. We have to remember that this is season. I went and I was bypassing an event the other day and I was here in dancehall. This season. Play with music now.
Noted.
Walk on.
No. Speaking of music, there was a video of a young man, and I have to call him a young man now because he big now. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to draw to your attention. Straight from the horse's mouth, Aaron Duncan is now 20 years old and going to university.
What?
Aaron Duncan is 20 years old and going to university. Allow the man to live his youthful life, and as an entertainer, let him perform wherever he is called to perform, because he could vote, he could drink, he could work, he could sire offspring if he so desires. in your minds, Aaron Duncan might still be in his little shirt and tie in primary school, but this is a big hardback man now. Get him on a ease up, please.
Send the video for me. I want to laugh too.
Yeah. He actually he came out himself and he did a recording explaining to people that he's a big man. Right? Aaron Duncan is 20. Right?
What Aaron do?
He was performing in an event and a young lady took it upon herself to quite heartily gyrate herself upon his regions.
And they thought she was doing that on a minor.
No, well, they questioned what he was doing there because in their minds he is a child, but this is a man. This is a young man.
And I'm going to say, and I'm glad they brought this point up because I think this is the perfect segue as well. That for the parents out there, you have to remember, as Ricardo always says, you are not raising children, you are raising adults.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I would understand the level of difficulty it will come with to accept that when your child is now at an age where they make decisions of their own about their life and the things they want to do with their life, how difficult it may be to accept because it may not be the part that you have been thinking about for the past 25 years.
It might be, they might be doing things that you deliberately avoided thinking about them doing.
Right? With that being said, parents, support your children. Show them that support. Because admittedly, not everybody could be a doctor, a lawyer, or engineer. If your child, what happened?
Now you're prompting me to use the sentiment that in Trinidad and Tobago we feel the only thing that bright is LED now.
Oh, right.
Lawyer,
I was
engineer,
actually looking for the acronym, but I didn't think of it at the time. So thank you very much for that.
LED. Mm-hmm.
If your child wants to go to UTT and study music, that is a thriving field. Because if you look at the panorama from Saturday, how many young arrangers were there?
My gosh, it was amazing.
Right? If your child wants to be a footballer, get them in an academy from young with some kind of connections. Because I'm telling you, sport is an active and thriving lifestyle. Look at Nicholas Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I just call football because I like football, I'm just saying. But whatever sport it may be, tennis, badminton, curling.
Come on.
We have a ice skating rink, curling,
handball, cornhole. Yeah. Look,
we had to look at the list.
No, that cornhole is a bigger deal.
Yeah, but we had to look at the list of the sports that will be coming up for the Olympics in 2024, which is later
cricket?
on this year. If cricket in it, we did.
Like
just
cricket not in the Olympics?
I think so, but
big up JR, boy. The Pan Man.
Right, the Pan Man. Yeah, but concert on the 20th.
I see in a ringmaster outfit the other day, boy.
Yeah, that is the theme of the concert. The circus. A world of wonder. And also, as we're talking about concerts and stuff like that, apparently Kenny is going to be in concert this Friday at Palms Club with Kaiser Showcase.
Hey, nice man.
Yeah.
Will it make up?
Alright, let's not wait. I said that wrong. Kenny is not in concert. The Calypso tent is opening and Kenny's one of the acts.
Mr. Philippe.
Mm-hmm. So Friday have options. You could head down to Skinner Park for small band finals. Or you could head to Palms Club for Kaiser Showcase opening.
Alright, so either way, we out there Friday.
Yeah, we outside.
Will it make up? Will it good? I realize he didn't talk to you at all whole last Sunday, boy.
Saturday,
sorry.
You know, when you're accustomed being a high-performing person and then you slip up once, did this hold out once over your head?
Yeah.
So Kenny is holding the fact that I had to leave early on New Year's Day over my head, and he's not going to let that go probably until next 3 years.
Right,
because I got the the constant reminders on Saturday. Hey, you still here?
When next I see him, I want to take a picture with him, and then I want to get printed and get autographed.
Why is that?
Hmm?
Why is that?
Let me just put this with me. That's my way of giving him a hug, because I feel he need a good hug. Some encouragement. You know, from the public saying, you go get them, Mr. Philippe.
You know, I think he has enough fans, honestly. Because admittedly, if you're talking national service, as important as Mr. Basdeo Pandey's contribution was towards the political landscape of Trinidad and Tobago, we can akin that to Kenny Phillips' contribution towards the cultural landscape in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
And Kenny always talks about the fact that in 1993, he changed the BPM Ahsoka and he carried it up when he did Preachers Jump and Wave. But yet still, if you want your so done and they want it done to the best of your liking, who you're going by is say Mr. Phillips. And this is 2024.
Yeah. Lasting impact, man.
Lasting impact indeed. And we continue to try to give flowers while the persons are still around to get them. And unfortunately, we were never able to interview Mr. Basdeo Pandey to give him his flowers while he was still here. But we always acknowledge his contribution towards the political landscape of Trinidad and Tobago.
I want to take the opportunity to publicly extend my condolences to somebody that is not just a public figure, but who we've interviewed and I've had several conversations with, and I consider a friend, Michaela Pandey. My condolences. My prayers are with you and your family at this time. I also want to wish you a happy belated birthday, because Monday would have been your birthday, so this is a particularly challenging period for you. God bless. All right. And on the note of birthdays, gosh, Lana's birthday was Sunday, boy.
And it didn't remind me.
I mean, didn't remind you. I look like your Google Calendar. But what did you?
But that's your sister.
Lana's birthday was Sunday. Big up, happy belated birthday, Lana. And my cousin Denise, the cheese paste and sweetbread legend. Yeah, her birthday was Sunday as well too.
Let me message Lana.
Hey, speaking of birthdays, ain't your mom's birthday coming up?
Yes, mommy's birthday is on Saturday.
All right, nice.
Hey, Ricardo, how could I forget my family birthday, boy? I always call myself an honorary Dorset. How could I forget Granny's birthday, boy? So, Granny Mary, Miss Mary, happy birthday.
From both of us at the living room.
Yeah.
Because I lie to tell you, when I get gifts for somebody else's birthday, it has officially become my favorite birthday for the year. So thank you very much. God bless your family. I appreciate the support. You all have been amazing to us over the years.
They always listening to what, eh?
That's what I'm telling you. So God bless and have a great year. Yeah. This is a solid week for birthdays. So as much as we recognize the significance of death, we'll recognize the significance of life as well too.
And the celebration of life as well.
Yeah.
There was something I really wanted to talk about. I don't know if today would be the appropriate time for us to talk about it.
You know, inappropriate timing is one of my specialties. Have at it.
But it's not my specialty at all.
We're working on
also, guys, how I speak of tiredness and managing your energy and admitting when you need to slow down and rest and stuff like that, right? I also have to continue to ask us to continue to work hard, because the job of becoming better is no one else's responsibility but your own. If you want to see improvement in your health, you need to put in that time to work out as well as manage your diet, which I have been doing pretty poorly at.
Yeah, it's a smaller looking here. The same because I'm dieting. It's because I'm just not exercising.
Right?
It's not a good look on that.
If you want to see certain aspects of your life move forward, you have to put in the work there. If you want your relationships to move forward, be it the one with the man above, be it the one with your family, be it the one with your spouse or your partner, you have to invest the time and be intentional about those things. But what I'm asking you is what we really need to work hard at is the fact that we need to do better at protecting our fellow citizens, not just around the world, but I'm speaking especially in Trinidad and Tobago. I have been fed up for a long time. I don't read newspapers, but I have been fed up for a very long time of opening my social media apps and everything is bad news. Somebody get killed, somebody car gets stolen, something happened here, a shooting here, an accident here. I am fed up. I understand that these things can happen in terms of accidents and stuff like that. But for the killings and the murders, Olia, this is somebody else's brother or sister or husband or wife or son or daughter. I am asking that we try our best to reduce the murders here in Trinidad and Tobago and by extension around the world.
You know what? It is what it is. I had to say it. Some of this, maybe even a lot of it, I am in no way saying all of it, but some of it boils down to personal responsibility and bad decision making. I know people don't like to hear that, but what I am saying is that there's 1,000-year-old scripture and philosophy that says how you make your bed is how you gonna lie in it. And you can't play mass and freight powder. And if you live by the sword, you will die by the sword.
I can add to that because you take I was coming with the somber approach first before I went up there.
Now, well, if they had a vex with one, or we let them vex with one. They don't have a vex with both.
No, well, now they're going to vex with both of we. Some time ago, our Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, made a comment that you have to be careful of who you have in your bedroom.
Father.
Guys, your net worth is your net worth. So if your net worth is only negativity, what do you expect your net worth to be? Now negative value?
You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
5? Brother man, if you're spending wrong time. If you're spending time with 2 of the wrong people, it even worse.
Well, fair enough.
Once you have negativity around you, negativity is what you will brew.
So what you're trying to say, Aaron, is that the environment that you're in could influence you, that it could infiltrate you, that it could inform and inspire what is within you?
And as I keep saying, the environment is not just the chairs and the tables that is be inside of them and around them. The people you is lying with, the music you is listen to, the food you is eat, the conversations you is have.
The things that you read and don't read.
The things that you read and because, oh my gosh, we don't read so much anymore. But all you manage your diet. Now, I was saying I didn't know if this was the conversation to get into today because it is a lengthy conversation that we continue to try and have inside the living room, man. Because we always say we try to have casual conversations on serious topics. But managing your diet overall is a conversation that we have all the time. We have it all the time. And we've reached to the point now, we can't beg all ya. Oh, as we said earlier, just like how Aaron Duncan is 20, he's 45 and listening to us. We can't bend a tree when it's old. But what we could ask that tree to do, we could water the tree so that some new leaves come up. And that new leaf is positive vibes.
We said you could prune the leaves and redirect them resources to trying to bear some fruit.
You know what? It's like origami.
All right. Okay, hold on. Origami is the paper folding technique.
Oh,
you
shucks.
talk about bonsai?
Yes, bonsai. Thank you.
My partner.
And I'm gonna say if when we doing the bloopers reel for
Oh, good.
when we do the bloopers reel for 2024, we have that one to paint.
I'm gonna put asterisk on this one time. But yes, you're right. It's a meticulous process of intentional grooming and development.
You think? No, I'm gonna be real transparent with you all here. You think my love for culture is something that come overnight?
All right.
From since I was small, my grandfather used to be playing calypso in the house. From since I was small, my grandmother would have taken me in Port of Spain Carnival Saturday to watch Kiddies Carnival. From since I was small, I grew up the hill from a pan yard. I was here in Pan. So the little roots were always there. But as I grew older, I realized that if I wanted to get closer to my culture, I had to be intentional.
All right.
You think as a DJ, I didn't have the opportunities to go on urban radio and stuff like that? I realized that there was a space in the entertainment sphere for me to make a conscious decision to be actively involved. Because you know why? I want to shape our culture, just like a bonsai tree, so that it will look appealing, not just to those who love it and those who are older. Because just like, and don't get vexed with me here. Apparently, it's only when you're old you just know that you love God.
Father.
Just like how all of a sudden when they grow older, all of a sudden they want to be in church every Sunday. I don't like that. At my age, I try to go to church at least every other Sunday, if not every Sunday. Because you know what? I don't want when I reach old, all of a sudden, now I want to show I love the Lord. No, I love God from young. I love my culture from young. So when I grow older, the level of knowledge that I will have to pass on to my children and grandchildren is going to be great. Because you know why? I was intentional from a young age. But if your only intention is to zest with 2 S's, hard, and to take the music and the lyrics that they are singing and try to reenact it in your own life, what do you think is going to happen? You don't think it's a negative influence? Because admittedly, and I'm not going and say that I never used to sing about bad man thing in the music before.
All right.
But just like how I didn't know Soulfish was about Soulfish until I was about 18, because it was cleverly written.
All right.
But no, it is so straightforward, it is so crass. A 5-year-old could know what they're singing about. Because they are so detailed in their lyrics. All yeah. Let me rest that now. Let me rest it now. Just like how I rest the Kiss Cake down. Let me rest that kind of music down.
Could do with a Kiss Cake though.
Yeah, but I really feel for it sometimes. You know?
That sugar, boy. I like the passion with which you're speaking, and it is palpable. I'm not sure I pronounce that right, but you see when you're in this space, when you're in this zone, I feel proud because you're a very rational fella, a reasonable fella, and you like to be able to speak to who you could speak to. But sometimes you just have to come off that fence and say what you see. Sometimes you just have to come off the fence and say, you see what's going on here? This is some 36. Sometimes you have to call it how you see it at the risk of upsetting people, because evil prevails when good men do nothing.
I want to add to that, and this is my last thing I'm going to say for the night, because again, perilously close to the hour 7 p.m.
We perilous already?
Yeah, perilous. Media houses have successfully conditioned our mind to think that crime looks a specific way. While I was at Victoria Square on Saturday for the pan sendings, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were moments where I had to clutch my pearls because I saw certain gentlemen passing. I say it again. Crime doesn't look a certain way. It doesn't. They could dress up nice and rob you.
Fair.
Just
And
letting you all know that.
I want to just tack on to that very quickly before we move on, because that is a whole other conversation I would love to have with a criminologist. But one thing I want to point out is that if we reported every time somebody robbed us behind a cash register, the same way we report every time somebody robbed us at gunpoint or blade point, we don't know what crime in Trinidad and Tobago also looks like.
Where my 5 cents?
And the 5 cents, that is the most minuscule of examples we could possibly use.
Given my Bobby has changed, it ain't changed.
You still playing real nice with it. But all I'm saying is that until we recognize the rot, R-O-T, not R-U-T, because we in our rot, cause our rot. R-U-T, cause of R-O-T. Until we recognize the many ways with which it has infiltrated our society, so much so that we think a certain level of wrong is normal, until we don't even bother to complain because that is just how it is, it's going to get worse. Because if you take a square page and you keep cutting edges, eventually you're going to end up with a circle, or worst case scenario, oval.
Or nothing.
Thank you very much, sir. So
but you know what? But you know what?
Look at what we have normalized by our silence. But go on, as you were saying.
And as you talk about silence, we spoke about it 2 weeks ago or last week, I think it was. When you say you have masters of entrepreneurship or masters of enterprise that are the guide to prices, watch it. All are we paying $4 for the same item, but some places might be selling it for 14. But because one place could sell it for 14, you know what? I go in and sell it for 14 too. We keep passing the buck at the responsibility. Because if, let's say, I have a shop and I selling a $4 item for $10 and everybody coming by me to buy that same item, you don't think the masters of enterprise go in and have to decrease the prices because you know what? Nobody buying from them? Think about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going into collusion and that type of... I'm not going to contest market forces in this discussion. We're already way past the time to get into that particular type of thing.
Yeah.
Right? But what I do know is that if in the price I am paying, I am not seeing what the value is, then I have the option to reconsider paying the price, right? There are places that will charge you more money because they have higher security. There are places that charge you more money because they're running air conditioning. There are places that charge you more money because they're in a convenient location. Some of them charging more money because they're open at hours when other places are not. What I'm saying is that there might be value to validate the price. But when you want to charge a price absent value, now you're price gouging. Now you're digging out my eye. And I have a huge issue with the fact that when we call our national services to comment or complain about something, the types of responses that we get include, so you don't know where the office is? Or I can't do nothing about that. Anyway, it's too late to start that again. Now what I'm saying is in terms of the public service, if you know you're not out here to serve, it have plenty of people willing to take the work. There are plenty of people willing to take the work and serve with some integrity. One of the things I want to absolutely celebrate with the latest wave of immigration that we've had is the way it has impacted a lot of public service. Because when you meet people who have a work ethic where they're willing to go above and beyond what is required of them, or at least to do so respectfully and in a mannerly manner, could I use another word there? What you get is that for me to maintain my job, I now have to deal with people in a respectful and mannerly manner. So I could tell you, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but the types of public service complaints that we were getting before, we're not getting as many in the same way again. I want to point out here that the failure of public service to properly serve exists in communities, in spaces and organizations that are not available to certain communities right now. Food for thought. Food for thought.
As the age-old saying goes, iron sharpens iron. So if all your co-workers pull in the weight and going above and beyond and use the one not doing it,
only as strong as the weakest link, right?
Exactly. And sometimes you have to pull up that weakest link with you.
True.
With that being said, guys, it is now time to hand over to Mr. Desmond with Kaiso to the world. This is your shitty DJ Aaron868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code. And I tell you all the time that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know that you love them. I just gave you the heads up, all they are not there Friday. I'm working either in the pan or in the tent. So you can catch me at either one of those locations. No, I am not singing backup or dancing backup for anybody.
Mr. Philip.
Definitely not him.
I ain't getting in all the business now.
No, he have his own dance or something like that. So
anyway, this is young. Let me watch before I comment. This is yours truly, Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the global stage. Thank you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. And to wrap up with one final word of caution. You're going out with your kids in public, all them pictures that you're taking for your memories, take one for safety. Take one for safety. In the event you are separated from your kids in one of these events, at least you'll have a picture of what they look like that day
and time.
At that time.
That's actually a really good suggestion. Whoever came up with that.
Yeah, kudos, right? Yeah. It's the type of thing that if you show security, they know exactly who they're looking for as opposed to your possibly frenetic historical description.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mr. Desmond, take it away.